Hi, I'm Cassidy, and today I'll be leading you through a 30-minute grounding yoga sequence with a nice guided meditation to close out our practice. If you're feeling frazzled, overwhelmed, or just disconnected from yourself, this practice will help you refocus, recenter, and ground into the present moment. Remember to modify this practice to meet your needs. And you don't need any props today, but feel free to use them if you have them. Remember to like this video if you enjoy today's practice, and subscribe for free yoga classes every week. Let's get started. We'll begin our practice today in child's pose. So bring the big toes to touch, spread the knees wide, and the arms come long in front of you. Forehead rests on the mat. And right away, let's just start with a deep cleansing breath. So take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale and sigh it out. Letting go of any distractions, any stressors that you brought onto your mat with you today. Maybe you rock the forehead gently from side to side. Wiggle the fingers, and then allow them to soften into the mat one by one. Feel the ground beneath you, settling into this space, into your yoga mat. Letting the earth hold you and support you throughout our practice today. And start to become aware of the body, the space it's taking up, any physical sensations you notice. Maybe it's a little bit of tension somewhere. Maybe you notice the feeling of the hips gently opening up in this pose. Just building an awareness of this space, of your body, of the present moment. And start to draw your awareness to the breath. First, just noticing the breath, the natural rhythm that you brought onto your yoga mat with you today. And then start to make the breath just a little bit deeper. Long inhales that fill the belly up. And make every exhale just a little bit longer than the inhale. Maybe you count the breath. Breathing in for 1, 2, 3. And breathing out for 1, 2, 3, 4. And making that exhale just a little bit longer will send a signal to the parasympathetic nervous system, allowing us to come out of that fight or flight mode and settle in a little bit more to our rest and digest mode, to just slow things down a little bit. Continue to focus on the breath for a little bit, setting up a rhythm for the breath that you can stay consistent with throughout our practice today. And if the mind wanders, just coming back, noticing your environment, noticing the body, noticing your breath. to walk the hands forward so that the elbows lift off of the mat. And then we'll rise into tabletop onto all fours. Shoulders are right above the wrists and the hips are right above the knees. And really set your foundation strong here. So feel the pad of each finger pressing into the ground. Press the tops of the feet down. And when you engage both of those areas, notice how it creates a nice flat line through the back. With your next inhale, drop the belly and look up. Cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, press the ground away from you and look to the belly button. Cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly, look up for cow. Exhale, round the spine, look to the belly button for cat. Let's take 3 more rounds of cat-cow. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Good. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. And one more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. And then return to tabletop. From here, look over the right shoulder and come back to center. And then look over the left shoulder and back to center. Let's try that once more. To the right, back to center, and once more to the left and back to center. From here, moving into some hip circles. So let's send the hips clockwise towards the right, making one big circle, and then meeting back in the center. Sending the hips the other direction, one big circle to the left, and back to tabletop. Let's take one more to each side. So we'll take one big circle towards the right, and then one big circle towards the left. Good, and then make your way into a comfortable seated position. So I'll be cross-legged, but you're welcome to find any comfortable seated pose that works for you. Option to bring something supportive under the seat like a blanket or a bolster or a block, whatever you have. And bring your fingertips to rest on the ground. Really connecting with the ground, the earth below you. Take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, ground the fingertips back down. From here, we'll bring the arms into cactus arms. Or maybe you think they look more like a goalpost, whatever you want to call them. Elbows are bent to 90 degrees, fingertips are spread nice and wide. Take an inhale, puff the chest up, tilt the head up, gentle chest opener. And exhale to return, but keep the arms there. And then just start to find a gentle twist from side to side. Just starting to increase the mobility of our upper body a little bit. And then come back to center. Hands can relax by the sides. Right hand will stay planted on the mat. Take an inhale and reach the left arm up and over, finding a side body stretch. And noticing how if you press down, if you ground down through the right hand, you're able to create a little more space through that left side and intensify this stretch a little bit. So let's take one more big inhale here. Exhale, release the left hand to the mat. Hand plants on the ground, and with your next inhale, reach the right arm up and over. Maybe you're pressing down through that left hand, through the left fingertips to create a little bit more expansion through the right side body. Feeling that space in between the ribs open up. Fill that space with breath. Take an inhale. Exhale, release both hands down. From here, bring the hands onto the knees, and we're going to take some rib circles. So we'll start once again clockwise, moving towards the right, and just find that full range of motion, sending the hips forward to the side, backward, other side, and back to center. Let's switch directions, one big circle to the left. And take a couple breaths here to either continue with these circles or just to find some intuitive movement, moving the ribs side to side, taking any final movements you need with the neck. And then return back to your comfortable seated position. And we'll make our way back into tabletop. From here, tuck the toes, press the hips up and back, come into downward facing dog. And once you arrive in your downward facing dog, maybe spend a little bit of time pedaling out the feet, bending into one knee at a time, starting to open up through the backs of the legs. And then find stillness in your down dog. Fingertips are pressing into the mat. Heels are releasing towards the ground. Tailbone is lifted. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, step the hands back to meet the feet for forward fold. So we're in a forward fold at the back of our mat. And from here, heel toe the feet to the outer edges of your yoga mat, about hips width distance apart. And then opposite hands grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. And start to swing side to side, shake the head yes and no. Just releasing some tension. Take an inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, spin the toes out, and we'll sink into yogi squat, malasana. So sinking the hips down as the crown of the head lifts. And if you have a block or another prop here, you might want to tuck it underneath the seat. That's a good way just to create a little bit more length through the tailbone and through the crown of the head. Maybe you use the elbows to gently press out on the knees to open up the hips here. And let's take one breath. Begin to plant the hands, press the hips back up, heel toe the feet back together. Coming back into our forward fold, the head and the neck hang heavy. With your next inhale, hands come to the shins and find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. With your inhale, slowly roll all the way up to standing. Head is the last thing to arrive, stacking vertebrae as you roll all the way up. Good, and coming into our mountain pose. So spread the feet hips width distance apart. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, crown of the head lifts. Hands are by the sides, palms face forward, and the fingertips are spread nice and wide. Maybe you close the eyes or find a soft gaze. And let's start by wiggling the toes. And then you can plant the feet firmly into the mat. Just building a little bit of awareness of the toes first. And once you find stillness, press down through all four corners of the feet. Keep a micro bend in the knees, just really allowing yourself to feel grounded and supported here. like you're pressing through your feet so that that energy is just rooting you down into the earth. Good. Take a deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. And if the mind was wandering, bring it back to this space. Feeling the earth beneath you. With every inhale, taking that energy in. And with every exhale, grounding back down. And gently flutter the eyes open. And we'll be moving into another grounding technique called base breathing. And this is a really simple grounding practice that you can come back to anytime you need it in your everyday life. So we'll bring the hands out in front of our hips like we were holding a tray or a platter. And with your inhale, pull the hands up until they're about shoulder level. And on your exhale, flip the palms and push the hands back down. Good, so that's the general pattern of our base breathing. And you really want to add some resistance there. So with every inhale, pretend like you're trying to push against something as you make your way up. And every exhale, you're really trying to push something down, maybe peanut butter or syrup. Think of something sticky. And let's try that a few times. So starting at the bottom, take an inhale and lift the hands up. Exhale, flip the palms, push that energy back down, grounding in. Take an inhale to lift. Exhale, press down. Good, try one more on your own. And then let's make our way to the top of the mat. So just stepping the feet there if they aren't already. From here, we're going to step the right foot back behind us. Left foot stays, and the right toes face towards the right side. Spinning the hips open, and we're coming into our warrior two. Arms extend out to the sides. Good, that front heel is in line with the back arch. Shoulders are relaxed. Take an inhale. And exhale. Good, inhale to stay. Exhale, bring the left elbow to the left knee, and the right arm lifts for side angle. Take an inhale, rise back up to warrior two, and take one breath here. Good, we're gonna spin both toes so that they're facing that right side. And then with an inhale, opening up for 5-pointed star, lifting the arms up overhead, shoulders are relaxed. And allow yourself to take up space. Take an inhale. Exhale, and find a wide forward fold. Option to find stillness here, or maybe some movement. You can find some little side lunges. Bending into one knee at a time. And then just return back to stillness in your wide forward fold. Take an inhale, come all the way back up to 5-pointed star. Exhale, spin the toes out, and we'll sink into our goddess squat. Hands come to the knees. And we're going to drop one shoulder at a time into the center. Good, with your next inhale, lift back into 5-pointed star. Exhale, spin the front toes forward for warrior two. And then just step back to the top of the mat. Good, we'll find that sequence on the other side as well. So now that we know it a little bit better, we'll try it and move through it just a little bit quicker. So from our strong mountain pose, Step the left foot back behind you. Left toes are facing the left side, and arms extend out to the sides. Warrior 2, release the shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the right elbow to the right knee. The left arm lifts up, side angle pose. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale to rise back into Warrior 2. And then spin both toes so they're facing the sides. Take an inhale and reach the arms all the way up. 5-pointed star. Making this big, taking up space. Take an inhale. Exhale, release into your wide forward fold. Remembering you can find stillness or make this a little bit more dynamic. Find stillness in your wide forward fold if you weren't. And then with your next inhale, rising all the way back into 5-pointed star. Exhale, spin the toes out and sink into that goddess squat. Hands come to the knees. And allow one shoulder to release at a time. Inhale, rise all the way back up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, spin the front toes forward, Warrior 2. And then just step back to the top of the mat once again. Maybe you shake it out a little bit. Take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. From here, just drop the knees back to tabletop. And then bring the big toes to touch, spread the knees wide. Press back into child's pose. Take one breath here, feeling nice and grounded. And then just make your way into a seated position. And from here, we're going to find bound angle pose. So soles of the feet come to touch. Take an inhale, lift through the crown of the head, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you stay right here, or maybe with your exhale, you begin to walk the hands forward, keeping a nice flat back. And take one breath wherever you're at. Inhale. And exhale. Good, start to rise back up. And then just roll all the way onto the back, lying down. Hug the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side or back and forth. And then we'll plant both feet on the mat. Hands are by the sides, fingertips spread wide, and the whole palm is pressing down. With your next inhale, lift through the center, rising into bridge pose. Option to tuck a block under the tailbone. And just take one more inhale here, lift the hips. Exhale and lower the tailbone back to the mat. You can allow the knees to fall side to side. And then the next time the knees go over to the left, allow them to stay there. Right hand extends out to the side, head looks to the right. Left hand can come on top of those knees for some extra pressure, some more grounding. And this is our supine twist, so making sure that both shoulders are staying planted on the mat. Let's take one deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, hug both knees back into the chest. Exhale, allow the knees to fall off to the right. Right hand comes on top of the knees, left hand comes out to the side, and the head looks to the left. Take one big inhale. Exhale, settle in. On your inhale, hugging both knees back into the chest. And grab onto the soles of the feet, opening up for happy baby. Tailbone stays on the mat. Knees are pressing in towards the armpits, and you can rock side to side, taking any movements that feel good here. And then as you feel ready, making your way into shavasana, allowing everything to relax, be still. Legs are extended long, hands are released by the sides. And we'll be staying here for the rest of our practice today. And I'll be guiding you through a short meditation. If you want to use any props here to get comfortable, perhaps a blanket, feel free to do so. And we'll start our meditation with the eyes open. Take a deep breath in, feel the belly rise, and a deep breath out, allowing the body to be heavy, relaxed, sinking into the ground below you. And start with noticing any sights around you. Maybe you look from side to side, simply noticing your surroundings, taking a mental picture of the space that you're in, appreciating it, acknowledging the presence of your physical body in this environment. And gently begin to close the eyes, or maybe find a soft gaze. What can you hear happening around you? Maybe it's loud and distracting, or maybe it's as subtle as the hum of a fridge or appliance in your house. Tune in and notice. Take a deep breath in, and whatever sounds you were focusing on, let them go. And bring the focus back within you, acknowledging their existence in this space, but staying present within your body and your experience. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and this time, notice any smells. Without defining them, without noticing any unpleasantness to them. Simply building an awareness of this space and what it's offering you. Take a couple more deep breaths. Can you start to pick up on any other smells? Anything subtle? Take a deep breath in, taking in your environment, and a big sigh out. Start to wiggle the toes, bringing the attention to the feet, noticing how they're falling into place, relaxed. Notice the heaviness of the legs settling into the ground below you. Bring the hands to the belly and start to notice the rise and fall with every breath. And take a couple breaths, feeling the expansion of every inhale and the emptying out of every exhale. Allow the hands to fall back to the sides. Feel the chest, the shoulders, sinking heavy into the ground. Rub the pad of the thumb against each finger individually. Wiggle the fingers, and then allow the whole arm to settle in, heavy. Rock the head from side to side, gently, And then find stillness across the whole body. And notice the full body, the clothes you're wearing and how they feel against the skin. Become aware of the space your body is taking up in your environment. How every inhale fills up and nourishes the body, and how every exhale allows you to ground in and relax a little bit deeper. And we'll find stillness here for just a bit longer. And as you feel ready, reach the arms overhead and take a big full body stretch. And then roll onto either side, using your arm as a pillow. And then just gently make your way into a comfortable seat, maybe leaving the eyes closed. Hands are by the sides, fingertips are pressing into the ground. Take a full breath in and a deep breath out. Bring the hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me for this grounding yoga and meditation class. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to subscribe for more free yoga classes every week. Try to stay with these feelings of mindfulness and grounding, and come back to them throughout your day when you feel yourself disconnecting. I'll see you next time.